Fam, good morning. What's going on? It is Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. Can I get a roll tide inside the comment box? How's everybody doing today? I appreciate you guys joining me. It is Tuesday. It is June 10th. You know, yesterday was such a great day here in Tuscaloosa as Sam Utu pulls the trigger and commits to the Alabama Crimson Tide. 6'5", 330 pounds, a road grader. And as I start out with the show, and it'll mostly be about recruiting, I want some feedback in this show as well. I love catching up with you guys inside the comment box. We'll do our shout outs. We'll do the raffle. We'll have a good time here on this beautiful Tuesday. But kind of from the jump, and I ask this, frequently when Alabama gets a commitment, I think the grounds right here that these guys have for setting a foundational piece in terms of the recruiting has been phenomenal. It really has. And that's why I put Courtney Morgan, and I know it's a collective effort, right? There's a lot of guys that have been doing a really good job for Alabama. And man, it's really been amazing, the recruiting. Look, I get it. There's only 6 guys that are committed at this point in time, but they are still in the top 10 of the recruiting rankings, whether you look on 24/7 or on 3. I don't know where they're at on 24/7, but I know on 3 they're in the top 10 with only 6 guys. And that tells you the quality and the volume that they have. It's more about the quality of the guys that they're picking up at this point in time. I figured that Utu would pull the trigger at some point this week. I mean, in him pulling the trigger on Monday tells you how excited he was about joining something bigger than himself, right? There's some amazing recruiting articles out there that kind of outline his thought process in committing to Alabama. A lot had to do with the offense. A lot had to do with Ryan Grubb and his philosophy and how he utilizes offensive linemen. So we'll talk about Utu, but I think overall, just kind of to kickstart, this week, that's one hell of a pickup. Don't get it twisted. And I think from what I saw, everybody was super excited about landing Utu yesterday. That's a big, big pickup. And I continue to see it because I follow Hayes Fawcett. And, all these other programs getting their commitments. It's recruiting season. Guys get summer commitments. But I think Alabama's been very selective, and they're getting guys who fit the mold of this next wave of Alabama football. So, and I love the Cali connection. I'll talk about that today as well. They've been going, Cali and Georgia are the pipelines for this university. And they'll work the in-state, of course. So anyways, thanks for joining me this morning. I appreciate you guys being here. I hope you guys are off to an amazing start. Thanks for giving me grace yesterday in terms of having the show at 9 instead of 10. I try to be punctual at 10 a.m. Monday through Friday, so that's where you can catch me, and I appreciate you guys rocking with me as always. So right here pictured is Courtney Morgan and Xavier Griffin. So I want to hear from you inside the comment box right now as we get the show going. Type X inside the comment box if you think that Xavier Griffin, the 5-star out of Georgia, will eventually commit to the Alabama Crimson Tide. And I get it. He's got to go a couple different places. He was recently here in Tuscaloosa on his official visit. Man, can you imagine? You get Jordan Edmonds, you get Jeriah Edwards. Do you get Jet Washington too? I don't know. But what if you get Xavier Griffin? Do you feel that Xavier Griffin commits to Alabama? Type X right now inside the comment box if you believe that he does. You know what? Like I say, I don't make predictions, but I know how to read a room. And I know where the tea, leaves are trending. And it seems like he's going to commit to Alabama. And that would be, look, you talk about breaking the internet. You talk about gigantic commitments. That would be it. Incredible linebacker, a 5-star. Man, this defensive staff is putting together a hell of a class. And you look to the defensive players that they brought in 2025. Those guys are good too. And linebacker is certainly an area that you need to recruit well in, of course, because you have Deontay Lawson. He'll be gone after this season. Nakai Hill-Green, he'll be gone. And then Justin Jefferson, right? So you're going to need to load up on those linebackers. Now, Xavier Griffin would be one hell of an addition to this class of 2026. So it looks like everybody's kind of feeling what I'm feeling and has X committing to Alabama at some point in time. I think he's committing at the end of the month, right? Is it the 28th? All right. I got a proud dad moment. Raise your hand inside the comment box if you're a parent. You a parent? I'm a parent. I have 2. I've told you. 16 and 12. Caden is 16, Lacey's 12. I'm so proud of each of them for their different gifts and the things that they do. And the blessing, my greatest blessing in life is being a father. I've talked about that openly. I know you are too. So story time. And look, this is real life. Like, these are the things that I do on a daily basis. So, and I bring some of that to the YouTube channel. So we have a 2005 Nissan Frontier. We haven't been able to get it to start, right? It's been over a year, it just hasn't started. We've taken it to mechanics and it just got basically like stuck in our garage. So Caden, who's 16, he bought a sensor reader yesterday, plugged it in and found out it was the crankshaft sensor. Tough job. If you know anything about mechanics, tough job. So the young man this morning, before the show, this is real life. This dude takes apart the entire truck on the right wheel rail, right? And he's able to change out the sensor. And he got the truck started this morning. So, man, you should have seen us. It was like high-fiving. And I feel like, you know, I can't brag on myself about a lot of things, but I'm a good dad. And I love watching my kids do different things. Like something like this, these are life skills. You know what I'm saying? And like so he cranked it up. I have a video of it. I sent it to my mom. And man, it like almost brought tears to my eyes because, you know, this is a hard job. And to see, you know, I don't know, I was proud of him. So that's good stuff. It's the summertime. So it was like, you know what? This was like the classic summertime fix up the old truck. That's what it was. Yeah, that's what it was. So anyways, just had to give him a little shout out here. All right, today's raffle, this is what we're doing. Bama_YouTube, Cash App Bama YouTube. You know how it works. This hoodie is absolute fire. I found it, you know, I hadn't seen this hoodie before. And I always cruise through, you know, I'm obsessed with hoodies. And I found this one on Team Fanatics. So if you want to just buy the shirt, go and check it out. And here it is. It has this mean-looking elephant, right? It has football. Put your name on the back. The retail price on this is $75. Is it Jarvis's birthday? What? So it was Kimberly's birthday yesterday, and it's Jarvis's birthday today? Oh, my goodness. Stop the music. You know I love my birthdays, all right? Jarvis, bro, honestly, happy birthday. I hope that you not only have a fantastic day, but I hope that you take time to appreciate your life. And I know you do. And your spirit, honestly, and your aura, dude, you're a good person here, bro. And we love having you inside the community. We love kicking it with you. I love that you're my stats guy. Your hat, it's been shipped that you won a week ago or something like that. But overall, man, I hope that you have an amazing year, and I hope that you know, everything goes your way. So happy birthday from the bottom of my heart and the rest of the community inside the comment box. Will you please drop Jarvis a happy birthday, because Jarvis is good people, no doubt. And it was Kimberly's birthday yesterday. All right, so 2 birthdays, but this is the raffle today. And we have some people, Chad's in, of course, Justin DeBoer, Chris Millender, Alex Wilder, Chance, Joseph S. So we got you know, a good blend. And there's still plenty of room for the raffle. So if you want to hit the raffle, now's the time. I'll show it periodically throughout the show. All right. Before we get into Sam Utu, and I want to dive into this a little bit, but let me do some shout outs real quick because we have a great crew up in the house. Let's see who is checked in on this fine Tuesday. And remember, when you say what's up, like, don't be afraid to represent your city. Like, I love city shout outs, all right? So here we go. We're starting out. We got Jeff Stapleton. Jeff Stapleton, he just hopes that Bama slaps Texas A&M. He's tired of hearing about them this year. What's up, Jeff? Jeff has been a long-time viewer. Kimberly, I hope you had an amazing birthday yesterday. Max Tooney, what's up, man? Good to see you. Herman, always checking in. We got Southern Red, a huge Alabama football fan. King Riz, who not only follows us on YouTube, but also on Facebook, right? Let's see who else we got. We got Chris Waldman. What's up, man? Roll Tide Nation. We have Melon Jesus. And we have Mike coming out, and he's saying that Auburn is going to have another 6-7 season. All right. Caitlin the Boss, what's up, man? Good to see you. Jake Corn 1, what's up, man? Official CJ Jackson. Chris G, man. Good to see you. Jason, Roll Tide. Chance, man. Good to see you. Todd, my boy, man. Good to see you. I hope you're having an amazing Tuesday. Anita, hello. Alabama's biggest football fan. Good morning to you as well. Cowboy. Oh, I love when Cowboy's here. He brings the good vibes and the cowboy hats. You know, I don't know why. Maybe I'm starting to like get to that point, but I'm starting to like to wear cowboy hats. I don't know what's going on with me. Jeremy Davis, what's up, man? And Jarvis, once again, man, it's his birthday. Happy birthday once again, bro. What's your favorite type of cake? Do we have any carrot cake fans up in here? Kaylin Childress, what's up? Chad Kennedy, my boy, man. Nicole, what's up? Man, we have a hell of a crew. Man, you guys are the best. Anna, what's up? Robert Bradley Jr. Young C. Jeremy Davis. Damn. Bentley Boy? Where's Bentley Boy? Oh, man. Bentley Boy, dude. That's my boy right there. All right, cool. Oh, Dan Caraway, man. Hell yeah. What's up? All right. Robert Hell's coming to us from Ohio. Okay. So yesterday, this was a really big commitment, and I know you guys saw it. I was really happy to see Sam Utu pull the trigger yesterday. I need to update this. He's 6'5", 330 pounds. He's out of Orange County, California. He's the number 22 player in the state of California. And he was predicted to Alabama by Steve Whitfong of On3, the big dog, right? And then he eventually commits on Monday. Man, the impact, because you're not going anywhere if you don't have a really good offensive line. And, you know, I started to kind of think about this. It seems like Alabama really has a good connection to a Cali pipeline, right? I don't know what was going on with those graphics. What's going on with the graphics? Huh. Let me see. Let me do a quick check, because I mean, I can't roll without my graphics. See, even this graphic is weird. Let's just take a little quick pause, and we'll hit a little refresh, and we'll see if we can get the graphics loaded again. All right, there we go. Perfect. Sometimes you just need a little refresh. See? So I was thinking about this. Look at man, weird. There we go. Look at the Cali connection over the last, this is the last year and a half recruiting cycle, okay? And does it seem to you like Alabama has a Cali connection? Type Y inside the comment box if you think they do. I mean, Dejon Lee, Jackson Lloyd, Cavante Henry, Abdul Sanders, Alex Osbroff, Chuck McDonald, Caleb Edwards. Now, those guys were part of the class of 2025. Now, you add on, Sam Utu out of the class of 2026. What is that? That's 8 guys. And, the Matter Day pipeline, I guess you could say that started when Bryce, Damani was from Matter Day too, right? If I'm not mistaken. Xavier Brown's from Cali. I mean, there's a lot of Cali cats on this team. So if they've done a really good job bringing in the guys from Cali, and I think overall, it's been really amazing to see how quickly the freshmen here, like one thing that I've learned about Coach Kalen DeBoer is he's not afraid to get freshman playing time. And Coach Saban was the same way. Coach Saban, look, if you were mature enough, you were going to play. That's why I don't think I have a starter right here. I mean, this guy's he still has high school. But like even Dejon Lee, maybe he'll be a starter at some point this year. But these guys are going to play. Last year, he started Xavier Brown at corner, right? See, and Rocketown points out exactly why that's why I put a Hollywood tag on his shirt, man. Courtney Morgan, yeah, with the 310. Yeah, he's got the area code, right? California. Hey, we have a Georgia fan. Hey, Jeffrey, stick around, bro, because I have a question for you as we kind of look to Alabama's schedule in the future. Because the thing we always talk about here with Georgia and Alabama, there's a lot of reasons that I'm always curious that Georgia is always the favorite in that matchup when Alabama continues to control the matchup. I'm not like no beef wanted. Those have just been kind of the facts. Todd points out that Bryce is from Matter Day, right? Orange County, big time program. But it's been nice, man. You have to recruit California, just like Jermaine points out. The football out there is fantastic. Same thing with Texas, the Lone Star State, and they did a good job with last year in Texas. They're still doing a good job in Texas. Georgia has been another state that they've been recruiting very well in, right? And when you look to the current commitments that Alabama has, look, it is not a big class right now, like as of today, but it's a powerful class. Hey, BJ, good morning. I hope you're having a really nice day. We'll start at the top left up here. Jordan Edmonds is a 5-star. Zion Gibson out of Gadsden, right? He's a 4-star. I think he recently just took a trip to Ole Miss, but I mean, this guy is super solid. Jamarian Matthews. Chris Booker out of Atlanta. And then Kamarion Johnson, who's a defensive lineman out of Muscle Shoals. And then recently, you have Sam Utu up top. So let me ask you right now, in terms of how you're feeling, look, it's not we don't have a huge volume. We have 6 guys committed. But what is your excitement level about this small class at this point in time? On a scale of 1 to 10. Is it like 6, kind of mid? Is it 7, 8? Or is it like 9, 10? I think it's when you look at the class, you're like, wow, they only have 6 guys. I think I have a graphic on here that shows you. Here it is. The comparison between Alabama and kind of the top 8. And what's amazing is that Alabama, despite having just 6 committed prospects, is still in the top 10. This is wild, right? Because the overall recruiting score over here is 90.96. I don't know. You round that up. It's a 91. But like, think about this. USC has 28 guys that are committed. In fact, they had Xavier Griffin, who was in that class as well before he decommitted. And now he's trending to Alabama. If Xavier Griffin does commit, that would go to 2 5-stars, right? Which would mean, there's only 2 other programs right now that have 2 5-stars, which is LSU and Ohio State. You throw on, do you throw on Tank Jones? Do you throw on Xavier Crowell? Do you throw on Jaira Edwards, right? I believe Jaira Edwards is another 5-star. You know what? Hey, Todd's a recruiting guy inside the comment box. I know a couple of you guys are. I'm kind of feeling, and look, recruiting changes all the time, but it seems to me, Byron is a recruiting guy too. Byron, what's up, bro? Does it seem to me like this has the makings for not even a top 5 class, like maybe like a 1-2 type class? It seems to me like if this is a horse race, we haven't even turned the corner yet at all. And you have USC who's like way out in front, but Alabama's kind of positioning itself to make a really strong run. I think they finish either 1 or 2, which would be tremendous. So it's early, but Todd has over 5 5-stars. I think 1 or 2. Let's see what Joshua has to say. Alabama can't compete with all the money now. College ball has been destroyed. SEC got screwed with NIL deals. This is a good comment to kind of chew on for a second. What's up, Joshua? I hope you're having a really good day, bro. I disagree with this. I feel that now that the NCAA House versus the NCAA has been, passed through and universities will be able to pay players directly, I think it does create an equalization of the top football programs, right? That can continue to hit that 20 million mark, and then they can, give 75% to football or however they want to split it up. This really stops the renegade NIL deals. Like Greg Byrne was talking to Cole Kublik this morning and said that there's no more get paid $500,000 and just post it on Instagram. Like, this has to be really vetted out, those private deals, these NIL deals by the NCAA clearinghouse, which I think is good. But I think now that, Alabama can hit that money, right, hit that mark, I think there'll be an equalization. Now, the thing that I'm curious to see is, like, let's take Kentucky, for example. Is Kentucky going to use that money the same way that Alabama does? So out of that $20 million, let's say Alabama gives 75% to football. Is Kentucky really giving 75% of that $20 million to football? I don't know. That's a basketball school. So maybe you see some disparities from basketball. And how does Alabama really give that certain percentage to basketball? I don't know. And what about the schools who aren't really big football programs that can still hit that $20 million mark? And I don't look in the whole like yay Alabama thing. I don't know what will happen with that going forward. I think Greg Byrne said now it's basically like a content site. So you have like On3, 24/7, and now Yay Alabama, which you can subscribe for. But Alabama is not broke. And in fact, I don't. This would be the next thing. Does Alabama go like private equity and start taking cash from whoever so that they can continue to hit that $20 million mark? I don't know. And like Herman's saying, he doesn't think that, Kentucky will utilize that money the same way that Alabama does. Alabama will utilize the most money for football, period, because that pays the bills for everybody, basketball included. But like all these schools can hit that $20 million threshold, that salary cap. USC can, LSU can, Ohio State can, Notre Dame can, Georgia can, Texas A&M can, Clemson and Alabama. Now the thing it comes to too as well, so let's say the salary cap is $16.5 million to pay the football team this coming year, right? 85 players, slice it up however you want to. On top of that, you can still get NIL deals, like legitimate deals. Like, so Ryan Williams can be paid by the university and also have legitimate NIL deals. The Hollister, who is it, Sally, where he does with the nails, right? You can still add on layers of money, which they will do. And Alabama being one of the biggest brands, they'll be able to get really lucrative NIL deals for their players. And I've always kind of wondered this too, Jay. Jay asks, how would it affect the SEC if Bama went independent? The only way I see something like this benefiting Alabama was if the playoff format isn't necessarily changed. Because right now, Alabama will be a better team. Let me ask you this inside the comment box, why I make this point. Straight up, do you already feel that this Alabama team will be better than last year's Alabama team? Like, if they were to play each other, do you feel that this year's team, I know you haven't seen them, you haven't even seen Ty Simpson throw a football pass, right? A pass. Don't you feel that this team will be better than last year's team? The problem is the playoffs are theoretically still the same. I know they've changed kind of the way that they're going to pick the teams 1 through 12, but it's still very difficult to make the playoffs. So if Alabama was to theoretically leave the SEC, they could still get a huge contract, TV contract, and they could take all that money from, that they made in the playoffs. But they would never leave the SEC. What are they getting? $56 million from the SEC? I think they could get $56 million from an independent TV contract for sure. More. It's Alabama. If Notre Dame can do it, are you kidding me? Then Alabama could certainly do it as well. They're not even going to have conference championship games soon. See, Justin's already feeling it too. This team blows last year's out of the water. The only thing that I would probably, at this point in time, I need to button this up. The only thing that I would probably give this team or last year's team the edge at right now is special teams. But we don't even know, what we're going to see from special teams until they actually play the game. Yeah, the kicker is going to be good. Let's see how he is on the road in Georgia, right? Let's see how he is in the first game of the season in Tallahassee. New snapper, new punter. That scares me. So right now, what I want to ask you guys inside the comment box, this is a graphic of Brian Williams, who we'll talk about next. He was just predicted to Alabama. But do you feel this is the Alabama baseball jersey. I've had this for a little bit. I think it's tight. I got this at Dick's Sporting Goods months ago. Let me ask you this. Who do you think is next? Jumping back to recruiting, who do you think is next to pull the trigger to commit to Alabama? Now, I saw recently, as you did too, Brian Williams, a 6'4" wide receiver out of Florida, was predicted. But who do you think will be next? Inside the comment box, post who do you think will be next to join the class of 2026. You know who I would love? Hey, Raphael, what's up, man? Good to see you, bro. Coming to us from Long Island. That's what's up. I've never been to Long Island. Not yet. All right, let's see what some of you guys say. So who's next to commit? Ryan's like, hopefully Griffin. That would break the internet. That would be good for all of us, right? Let's see. Let's pray. It's Lee, Williams, or Edwards. Malachi Lee. I hope that Malachi Lee is the one that commits next, but I think it seems like it could be Brian Williams. But could you imagine just for a second if Malachi Lee is a 6'7", 310-pound prospect out of Hawaii. Could you imagine if he committed right after Sam Utu? And so you just start bringing in these road graders on the offensive line. Anthony inside the comment box has Edwards. Rory, what's up, Rory? Has Tristan Keys from Hattiesburg. That's an interesting recruiting battle right now. Chad has a lineman out of Mississippi who was just recently here, right? BJ has a safety from Baltimore, Jeriah Edwards. Ryan's like, we're going to end up with 16 wide receivers. No, you know what? I was thinking about this too. I was like, how many wide receivers are you possibly going to have? Well, I think with Brian Williams, Coach DeBoer and Jamarcus Shepard, right, and Courtney Morgan, I think they want receivers that clearly have length. You bring in, Derek Meadows, and you have like your slot position guys. I actually love how they recruit their wide receivers. But Brian Williams, I think, replaces like Isaiah Horton, right, and is in line after Derek Meadows. So you have Derek Meadows, 6'6", then you have Brian Williams, which will be cool because you have Brian Williams and Brian Williams. From asks, hey, Kyle, what's going to happen with the Bama walk-on at 6'7"? So my understanding with this young man, John Gazzaniga, right, I hear that he's just strictly scout team. That's it. That's all I heard. And that he's not, in the mix to be a quarterback, like to play here. Who knows? I mean, things can change. I heard that he could also, because of his size being 6'7", that he could even move to tight end. So, but I don't think he came here to like be the guy for the job at quarterback. That's what I was told. But I think, I'll have to say this. I did watch his highlight tape, and he didn't sign with anybody after he graduated in the class of 2025. He was pretty good. I'm serious. Like, if we were to bring up his tape and watch John Kazanaga play, quarterback, he wasn't bad. Kenneth, what's up, man? Good to see you up in here. Daniel Adams is asking Jet Damala. So if you're wondering who Jet Damala is the quarterback who is currently committed to Iowa State. He just took his official to Iowa State, and I think he has a really big decision. I think either he decommits and if he comes back to Alabama, I think it's probably a done deal, right? Wouldn't you think? Like, now Alabama is also recruiting Matt Ponitowski, the quarterback out of Ohio, who's the Gatorade Player of the Year for football and for baseball. And from what I understand, if he comes here, Matt Ponitowski, he'll play football and baseball. Remember, who else tried to do that? Wasn't it Dylan Lonergan? That never works out. And you can't play two sports. Max is saying Jet more likely. Ponitowski may stick with baseball. I mean, if you want to get absolutely paid crazy, crazy money, play baseball. All right, Wade checking in a little bit late. What's up, Wade? Good to see you, bro. Wade has a 9 on this class. Eric D says Cedarian Morgan, Booby Feaster, Brian Williams. Crazy. Now, I take 20 wide receivers if it's guys like that. Now, I don't want those guys playing anywhere else. Right? No, I don't remember Brandon Avalos. Give me the skinny on him. Did he play both sports? It just seems like that really hasn't happened over here at Alabama. I remember the guys who thought they were going to play basketball here for Coach Oates and football. Kool-Aid. Right, Fred? Fred, dude, I'm serious. If you want to play baseball, if you want to make like a gajillion dollars, play baseball. Eric D chiming in. Kazai and Henderson is going to be the QB in this class. It'll be tight. My cousin, Kashawn Henderson. Mike has Booby Feaster going to Texas. Tony has arrived. Tony, what's up, man? You need to get you a different avatar, right? Still rocking with the purple. Ryan Harris chimes in. He says, if we stockpile this many wide receiver egos, you can't get everyone the ball, and they will transfer anyways. That's that's kind of the game, right? These guys have been transferring out. But I think the thing is, I think players are starting to learn that the more that they transfer, the less relevant they are. And not only from Alabama, I just think overall, like, we follow Alabama because this is Alabama channel, but the guys that continue to transfer, they just go into like the Pacific Ocean. You never hear about them. Maybe here and there, but you don't really hear about those guys. Max Tooney back on Lonergan. He never played a minute of baseball. Yeah, I never really understood that. Like, I'm sure he was is a hell of an athlete. Let's see. I think Riley, what's up, man? Any news on the decommitted prospect from USC? You're talking about Xavier Griffin. So Xavier Griffin, help me out, Jarvis, or someone inside the comment box. I think Xavier Griffin is going to commit, or Todd, at the back end of June. I think he's an Alabama lean. I think it will probably work out for him, but he hasn't made a commitment at this point in time. Good to see you, Riley. I like the avatar, man. Keep up the good work. Let's see. Eric D's like Ohio State stockpiles wide receivers. Why can't we do it? Yeah, they have. I mean, truth be told, they have had the better wide receivers than Alabama. Over the last 3 seasons. But I mean, it's just the nature of the game. They're going to lose guys. Alabama's going to lose guys. I mean, those are the 2 top teams right now with the best wide receivers. Chad chimes in. He's out. How long has Bama been looking at the wide receiver from Florida, Brian Williams? I don't like that CD Morgan may not be a lock. Yeah, I would probably prefer, for whatever reason, I like his tape more, CD Morgan. But I think either way, you'd be in a good spot. Jarvis has the commitment date for Xavier Griffin as June 29th. And I think Xavier Crowell is like a day before him, if I'm not mistaken. And Xavier Griffin, really interesting to point out right here, still has visits to Texas and Oregon. Wade's World chimes in, and he's talking about Jeremy Bernard having a great year. Yeah, sometimes he gets a little bit overshadowed because of Ryan Williams and all the components that are coming back for Alabama's football team this year. But I would think, and I talked to a source that said that Bernard will be the number 2 guy this year, period. Yeah, so Crowell is the 26th. A couple days later, you have Xavier Griffin. I mean, the end of June could be, we could have a pre-4th of July fireworks show, right? I like this photo right here of Sam Utu. Yo, Courtney Morgan, this is a big man, right? How did we not know? You talk about chess moves, because Coach Saban was always playing chess. Remember we said that? Well, Kalen DeBoer bringing in Courtney Morgan. Who would have thought that we needed a general manager? This guy has been over the moon outstanding. Kalen DeBoer came in, and this is his secret weapon, is this man. This is Sam Utu with his family. This is Coach Kapilovic right here, who coaches the offensive line. Just dream about this. Let's manifest it real quick. So we have Sam Utu at guard. We have Malachi Lee at right tackle. And at running back, we have Xavier Crowell. That's crazy. And then our wide receivers are, I don't know, throwing like a CD Morgan or a Brian Williams. By that time, Lazier Brooks will be a Heisman hopeful. Quarterback, Keelan Russell. Yo, the future, I don't know where the tight end will go. Is it Prothero? I think someone said yesterday he's a Georgia lock. Was it you, Max? You know what? I think this is really important, what you just said, Rocket Town. Wall Brock, this is great. The kind of a new name on the scene, right? The director of the creative production has kind of been the foresight behind the scenes of like all these documentaries and all this media that you've been seeing from Alabama football. He's been doing some space age things, right? You give him a follow. He's kind of the guy behind kind of the multimedia perspective. He's done an amazing job. Jeremy's like, Courtney Morgan has some eligibility left. Wade's World's like, God sent Courtney Morgan to us. Let's recruit Courtney Morgan. We don't get another guard. Throw on Courtney Morgan. That's the thing, Dan, right? We didn't know we needed Courtney Morgan, but we did. All right. This is one more time. This is the raffle that we're rocking with. Started yesterday. And we still have plenty of spots open. So if you want to get in, $10 up to 3 opportunities. Bama_YouTube on Venmo and Cash App Bama YouTube. Portion of that goes back to either the soup kitchen. And as I said, maybe you missed it yesterday or this week. But I'm starting a new project. This is something that I just started on. I have a million projects going. But I went and visited the Tuscaloosa Juvenile Detention Center last week. And I feel that, I don't know why. I kind of feel like I'm being pushed a little bit into like a little bit more service at this point in my life. So what I found out is that we can have some of our F3 workouts, fitness, fellowship, and faith at the Tuscaloosa Juvenile Detention Center, but we could also do donations. But I was talking with the director, and he said actual snacks is kind of the best option. Like, there's a lady who gives snacks frequently, and also socks. They need socks and like basketball shorts. So I was thinking, because we've been hitting around, I don't know, like I think $300 per drop for the soup kitchen. I was thinking of just doing that, but in snacks, and then taking over to the juvenile detention center for our next drop. So that's kind of where the portion of some of the proceeds go from the raffles. It's been cool. I mean, the soup kitchen is great, but going to the juvenile detention center is heavy. And actually, there's some Alabama football players that periodically will go out there as well. I saw pictures of them. So they have like some older pictures too. They have one of their bigger pictures of Jalen Hurts. I guess he went there a couple times. So yeah, this is for this jersey's a baseball jersey. So, but if you want to get into the raffle, and if you're on the rewatch, it's still open as well. We'll probably spin it on Wednesday, and I'll have my I'll probably have a show tonight as well, 7:30, 8 p.m. right here on YouTube. Yeah, and super chats will get you in the door too, in terms of a raffle entry. Thanks, Rocket Town. Appreciate you, bro. Let's see, Trevor. What's Trevor got to say real quick? Trevor, we're here. I'm in Colorado on my honeymoon. Oh, that's amazing, man. Where are you at in Colorado? I love Colorado. Patriot Life. Is Patriot Life here? Patriot Life. What's up, bro? Good to see you, man. All right. So if you need to dip out, that's kind of, where the show is. So I'll be around for a little bit more. But if, as news happens or, things, I'll have a show tonight as well. So, but if you're on the rewatch, that's cool too. You still have an opportunity for the raffle. We'll spin the pinwheel on Wednesday. But now I'm just going to kick it with you guys for a little while. So. Little Brock is asking if you missed anything. Not really. Just kind of some recaps. Patriot Life, thanks for the super, brother. Thank you so much. We went over Sam Utu. We highlighted Courtney Morgan and just kind of the job that they've done. And we talked about, possibilities of who could be next to commit to Alabama. I think when you look to the commitment wall and targets, June is going to be a very prosperous month for Alabama. And what stands out to me most, I guess, is the fact that they're still in the top 10 despite just having 6 commitments. And King Riz, yeah. So you guys know Army 3275, right? He's always in the comment box. I guess he's going through some stuff. So keep him in your prayers. He came on yesterday and was asking for prayers. Really good dude. He's always here. He's one of, he's so I don't know what he's going. Everybody's going through something, unfortunately, but that's just the way life is. So keep him in your prayers. Super good dude. Let's see. Chad the Great says this. It's dope that Alabama is recruiting well for skill positions, but I'm worried about the offensive and defensive line and quarterback. If those aren't set, we're not going anywhere. Yeah, so Chad the Great, of course, you're right. But I think that's why yesterday was so amazing was that you did get an offensive lineman in Sam Utu, right? Defensive line is hard. Yeah, Chad, I got you in 3 times, brother. Defensive line is hard, but you do have Kamarion Johnson, who's coming in. It's hard in the transfer. It's hard to recruit in the transfer portal for defensive linemen in high school. It's the hardest position. Quarterback wise, I think you're good on quarterbacks. You'll get, I guess, either Jet Thamala or Matt Ponitowski or someone else will jump into the fix. But I'm not worried about the quarterback position because the quarterbacks here at Alabama, they're so young. And if you really needed some experience, look, they're going to take a quarterback. But one of the things that you have to understand is, like, the guy that's going to be the quarterback here for probably 3 seasons is going to be Keelan Russell. So that's a long time if you're a top-rated quarterback and you're looking at Alabama. Let's just face it. The artist form, dude, look at that drip, man. The artist formerly known as Sean says, I also think the skill positions are typed up more than others. Hyped up. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because we hype up guys who score touchdowns. But nobody would score a touchdown if you didn't have Sam Utu, if you didn't have a Malachi Lee, right? Like, you're not scoring a touchdown, period, without an offensive lineman. You ever try to play without a right tackle? Well, Alabama tried that a couple games last year. You saw it worked out for them. Rory McElroy is saying, in my lifetime, I am a lifetime Alabama fan. Live in Texas, but will always fly my Bama flag. Man, that's what's up. Texas is, see, and I just saw once again that Texas is favored to win the SEC. If they don't win a national championship under Steve Sarkisian, they'll never win a national championship, period. All right, Chris Millender, I got you in again, brother. This was terrible. Did we ever find out what happened to Keelan Russell? There was no details about this. I know that she is having her services are coming up soon, clearly. And in case you somehow missed this, Keelan Russell's twin sister passed away here in Tuscaloosa last week. It was probably one of the saddest things that's happened to, our community in some time. There's really been, no details, and I don't know. Super terrible. That was like gut-wrenching. 18, she just graduated. She was here. I think she was going to be a part of the basketball team. So, just super, super sad. That was terrible. All right, fam. Well, yeah, that's the show today. As news happens, we'll keep you posted. Whether it's, a quick video or if I'm around, I'll go live. And please support all the other great Alabama channels. There's a lot of people that are putting in a lot of hard work to deliver really good content. And I really appreciate you guys being here with me. I'm not associated with any of the networks, so I'm just an independent G. And I'm supported by you guys, to be honest. So, and I appreciate that. And I take privilege in that, and I understand the responsibilities that come with that. And so thank you so much. So, but I hope you have a great rest of your day. The weather's good. It's not raining here in Tuscaloosa, at least for this current point in time. It's been raining like every day over here. But stay blessed. Enjoy yourself. Go have a beautiful lunch. Get your workout in. Get outside. Be active. Enjoy this beautiful thing called life. And I'll catch you soon on the next show. Coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama on this fine Tuesday, June 10th in the morning. Kyle Anderson, Alabama